Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday the 25th, and it's our 8th day out of school, and we're going to get right started on the letter N. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we need to write it every day. We need to practice it every day. Well, I said we were going to get started, so let's start with the happy face and make a line that goes straight down. Lift our pencil. Today I felt like being a little different, so I figured I'd get a different color. And go back up to the diagonal. Don't lift and go straight up. Oh my, that was a messy one at the end. I may have to do another one to show that I can be neat. Straight down from the smiley face. Lift your pen. And like I said, because I'm feeling creative, I'm going to get another color out. Go diagonal. Don't lift. Go straight up. Oh, that one looks much better than that one. Ugh. Well, that's okay. That's why we practice. I think I will do another one. Let's make this one gray. We're going to go straight down from the smiley face. And I'll grab another color and do my diagonal. Don't lift and go straight up. I kind of like this. It shows that we lift our pencil once because we have two different colors. So we'll do it one more time. Straight down. Get another color and do the diagonal. Don't lift, go straight up. There's our capital N's. I think I'll do some lowercase n's next to them. Got my happy faces out. I have plenty of room. And I'm ready now. Now lowercase n's, we don't lift our pen. So I'm not going to have a whole bunch of colors. I'm going to go straight down, go back up like we're diving off a diving board and straight back down. Oh, that's not bad. I like that color, but I think since we started with different colors, I'm just going to keep going with different colors. Start at the happy face, go straight down, don't lift, back up like we're diving off a diving board and straight back down. Make sure that your N isn't, your lowercase n, make sure it isn't too far apart and make sure it's not too close together. We want a little bit of space in there so we can see it. So I'm going to go straight down from the happy face, go back up like you're diving off a diving board and straight back down. And I think I have time for one more. Let me get a nice green. We're going to go straight down, go back up like you're diving off a diving board and straight back down. Make sure that there's only a little bit of space between your straight down and your diving off a diving board. You don't want a whole bunch of room. You don't want to do that. There's way too much room in there. You want to make sure that when you go, you trace back up and you stay really close to the first line. So make sure that you do them as neat as you can. And just like yesterday, why don't you have Mom and you circle what you think are your best ends? All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be making the letter N out of our edible Play-Doh, or any Play-Doh you have at home. And since the edible Play-Doh is something that's going to go in your mouth, we probably should wash our hands before we begin. So I've got my sink, got my warm water, and got lots and lots of soap. Today I think I'm going to do the happy birthday song. I haven't done that one yet. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. So I did my scrubbing before I really got a lot of water on there, and now I'm going to do more scrubbing with water. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. And now I should be able to take it all off. Wow, those are some really clean hands. But now I won't mind playing with my edible Play-Doh. So now we have our edible Play-Doh out, and we're going to make a capital letter N. Now, I noticed my Play-Doh is getting a little crumbly, so I'm just going to squish a line instead of rolling it. Let's see if I can get it really big here. Now, I got my first straight line, and I need a little bit more. I don't have enough yet to make my next line, because remember, the next line, we really don't lift our pencil, so I'm going to try to make it long enough where I can bend it I'm going to put my line up at the diagonal, go down, and back up. Oh, I almost made it. I need a little extra Play-Doh. Parents, let them have fun with this. Perfection is really not needed. But you know, during this time you can talk about different things with the letter N. So far we found Nutella, nickels, and nose. I'm still looking toward hearing any of your comments or any of your emails about letter N's that you found around the house. So there's my capital N. Unfortunately, I only have this much Play-Doh left. I don't think I can make a lowercase n out of such a little tiny bit of Play-Doh, but I'm gonna try. Let's see, I have my first line, and then I'm gonna trace back up and around, and oh look, I was able to do it. I made my lowercase n. So today, make your capital and your lowercase n out of edible Play-Doh or any Play-Doh you have at home. So today we're going to write our letter. Yesterday we wrote to a doctor or a nurse, and today I figured we could write to a family member that maybe doesn't live in the house. I've got some relatives in the United States, but I chose to go all the way to Vietnam and write to my niece. Dear Win, how are you doing? We miss you very much. Adam and I, that's my son, are not in school. We stay home like you do. Win is a high schooler in Vietnam, and she's been out of school for several months, so she understands what we're going through. Please give your grandma a hug from all of us. And that's all I'm going to write. And of course I write love, L-O-V-E, comma, and my name. This is the part the preschoolers are doing every day. Now since I am doing a letter, I should probably put in a picture. I'm going to keep this one simple. We are sending our love and hugs from the United States to my niece in Vietnam. So I'm just going to draw a couple really big hearts. Not every letter has to have a super duper complicated picture. I'll just give her some beautiful colored hearts. Try your best, please. This is going to a family member, and they really like to see your best work. Let's see if I've got a good pink. Oh, I've got a great pink right here. I like this pink because it's in the shape of a triangle. Let's see, I have a red. I can put a red heart here. If hearts are really hard for you to draw, you can get mom or dad, big brother or sister to draw the hearts, and then you can color them in. Now I'm going to spend some more time coloring in all my hearts in a few minutes. You can see I have quite a lot of hearts to color in. I'm not going to color them all in. Because my niece is from Vietnam, I wanted you at least to see what my letter would look to her if I really sent it to her. She can't read in English, so I wrote the same letter to her in Vietnamese. Now in Vietnamese, they use lots of really cool things above their letters. You can see some of them here. This one looks like a hat. This one looks like a question mark. And this one's just a diagonal line. Sometimes their letters even have little marks sticking out from the letters. So I had to learn how to write this. I can read and write most of this, but I did use a Google Translate app to help me with some of the other words. If you are writing to grandma or grandpa or someone in another country, have mom and dad help you out. But make sure you put love and your name at the bottom and draw your very best picture. So today's story is another Three Little Pigs story, but definitely not pigs. We have the three little fish and the big bad shark. Totally different from Baby Shark. Nice picture on the top. The three little fish and the big bad shark. Oh, look at his teeth. That's great. This was written by Ken Geist and illustrated by Julia Gorton. Once upon a time, there lived a mama fish and her three little fish, Jim, Tim, and Kim. It is now time, said the mama, for each of you to make a home in the deep blue sea. So off they went. The first little fish, named Jim, swam away and met a seahorse playing in some seaweed. Can I have some of the seaweed so I can build a house? Take as much as you can carry, said the seahorse. Jim gathered the seaweed and made a weedy little house. That's a pretty cool little house. Jim had just finished building his seaweed house when he heard the big bad shark knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in. The little fish trembled and replied, not by the skin of my fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in, roared the shark. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched and he ate up every bit of the seaweed house. I love the way the story moves. And Jim swam away just in time. Jim looks a little scared there. Soon Jim found his brother Tim. Tim said, don't worry, Jim, we fish stick together. You can help me build a sandy little house. Oh, I see a sand castle. Wow, that'd be cool. Jim and Tim had just started to relax in the sandy little house when the big bad shark came knocking at the door. Little fish, let me come in. To which the brave little fish replied, not by the skin of our fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in, roared the shark. So the big bad shark munched and he crunched until he got a sandy mouthful and the house crumbled. Jim and Tim swam and swam. I bet I know where they're going. I bet they're going to their sister Kim's house. Until they reached their sister Kim. Kim was setting up her house in an old wooden ship. The big bad shark destroyed our houses. Don't worry, you can live with me, said Kim. And they did. The three little fish had just finished lunch when they heard the big bad shark knocking at their door. Little fish, let me come in. To which the smart fish replied, not by the skin of my fin. Then I'll munch and I'll crunch and I'll smash your house in, roared the shark. The big bad shark munched and he crunched, but he could not smash the house in. And all his teeth fell out. Oh no! Look at his teeth. Oh, and he's only got one left in his mouth and it's falling out. Oh no. Kind of feel bad for him. That's gotta hurt. The three little fish were safe at last. Oh, and the big bad shark has to eat squishy seaweed from now on. I don't think he can handle anything harder than that. The end. This had a lot in common with the three little pigs. The huff and puff became munch and crunch. But there were still three pigs and they still had three different houses, or three fish, and they had three different houses. I'm seeing that every book we read has some things that are the same as the other books, but every book we read also has something different. I can't wait to read tomorrow's Three Little Pigs story. So our number of the day, I think we're ready. We're going to do it two different ways. First, we're going to practice writing the number 7 on our whiteboard. We're going to start at the happy face and go away from it. Then we're going to go down in a diagonal, and remember that they should stop at about the same point. So I'm going to cut mine a little shorter there. You don't want your 7 to keep going. Oh no! That looks really far off. So make sure when you go out, your diagonal stops at about the same point where you started your 7 at the top. that you can make an invisible straight line. Try a couple 7s. Make sure that the top is shorter than the diagonal. You don't want it looking like this. That gets kind of confusing. So make sure that you try your very best 7s. Fill up your page with 7s. Maybe even write 7 perfect 7s. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count these. 6, 7. I think that's a good goal for the day, right? 7 super 7s. And then we're also going to write it as a tally. Last week I drew the apples that you guys see on your smart boards, but today I'm just going to ask you to do something really simple. Just put 7 lines, 1 in each box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, we always fill up the whole row on top first before we go to the next row. So we don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, we go straight across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what our tallies are going to look like for the number 7. I'm even going to write the number 7 on top so I can remember what I was doing. Leave these blank. Those are for bigger numbers. So our number of the day, I think we're ready. We're going to do it 2 different ways. First, we're going to practice writing the number 7 on our whiteboard. We're going to start at the happy face and go away from it. Then we're going to go down in a diagonal, and remember that they should stop at about the same point. So I'm going to cut mine a little shorter there. You don't want your 7 to keep going. Oh no, that looks really far off. So make sure when you go out, your diagonal stops at about the same point where you started your 7 at the top, that you can make an invisible straight line. Try a couple 7s. Make sure that the top is shorter than the diagonal. You don't want it looking like this. That gets kind of confusing. So make sure that you try your very best 7s. Fill up your page with 7s. Maybe even write 7 perfect 7s. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count these. 6, 7. I think that's a good goal for the day, right? 7 super 7s. And then we're also going to write it as a tally. Last week I drew the apples that you guys see on your smart boards, but today I'm just going to ask you to do something really simple. Just put 7 lines, 1 in each box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, we always fill up the whole row on top first before we go to the next row. So we don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, we go straight across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what our tallies are going to look like for the number 7. I'm even going to write the number 7 on top so I can remember what I was doing. Leave these blank. Those are for bigger numbers. Alright, so last Wednesday we did some rain art, so I figured today we'd do some art too. This is super simple. You can make it as big or as small as you want. All you need are some crayons of different colors, and the kids have to scribble. Yes, I'm letting you scribble, Scrabble. But when you scribble, you can see Miss Mary's holding her crayon funny because I'm trying to hold it super hard and scribble as hard as I can. If you scribble soft, this won't work. You have to really push down on your crayons. And you have to have no white spaces. So I'm even coloring over my other colors to make sure that I'm right next to them. Now you want to color a section. It can be as big or as small as you want it, but you want to get as many colors in as you can. Make it really colorful. I think I'm just about done. I think I pretty much have every color. Let me put some red in here. I don't see any red yet. Oh, that's not a good red. Ah, here's a good red. I'm just using old crayons that I have lying around. Actually, that looks a lot like orange. Finally I got some good red. Okay, I think I've got pretty much every color I want to include in here. You can't use white and you can't use black, because what you're going to do with black is, and I'm having to take the wrapper off mine because I've been using it a lot, is once you have this colored, just a little section, as dark as you can, you're going to go over it with the black crayon super dark. In fact, parents, you may want to do the black part on top, or older brother, older sister, because it really needs to be heavy and dark and complete. You need to cover everything. Now, I know you can buy these things on, there's websites where you can buy, Oriental Trading Company has these and they're reasonably cheap. But this is my homemade version of it. So once you have this done, you're then going to want to cut out some kind of shape. I'm going to make this an oval. Make the kids cut, because they definitely can do the cutting. And that way you don't have the scribble scrabble that's on the edges and it looks more like completed. And then you're going to want to grab something sharp now, or something with a good edge. I'm going to grab one of my nickels just because it happens to be here. I'd suggest for the kids maybe a plastic knife or a chopstick or something that, you know, that they can hold really well. The nickels are kind of hard to hold. And have them practice their shapes. Preschoolers have to be able to identify certain shapes. So see if they can draw you a square, a triangle, a rectangle, and a circle. Circles might be hard. It's hard to draw curves on this one. They can write their name. They can do all kinds of doodles on these. If they need more space, you can do other ones. Here's one I did earlier, and it says, "Miss Mary loves you," with a happy face. Have them practice something that they do need. I know the kids, once they get into it, they like to scratch out all the black to see the colors really bright. This is something you definitely can do with the whole family. You can make large ones, small ones. Let them have fun with it. The bigger their drawings, the more times they're going to see different colors show up in the same drawing. Like in this triangle, you can see red, green, blue, and a little bit of purple. So yeah, it's a little messy because the black crayon marks get everywhere. But it's definitely a fun, easy activity for the kids to do. A little different than the regular coloring pages because they get to scribble. Like I said, help them with the black. The darker the black, the better the colors show. And I hope you enjoy this art activity. All right, so our last section of the day is the website of the day. I went to something called switchzoo.com. Have it up here on my list, SWITCHZOO, all one word, .com. Now, once again, this is a website that does have paid sections, but it has more than enough free sections to keep your kids interested. There's some really good things in there, and parents, since you are sort of teachers now, in fact, you really are teachers now, and you were even before school closed, I suggest you go to the teacher resource section and take a look at some of the additional resources that teachers can print up, websites they can go to really make this more interesting if this turns out to be a website your kid is interested in. So once again, switchzoo.com. And on that note about being a teacher, I just want to take a moment to tell you that what you're doing at home is truly amazing. This has not been an easy couple weeks. The news has been more than overwhelming every day. If you don't get to teaching every day, or you only teach a small part on one day and a small part on another day, that is perfectly fine. Your main concern is keep your family safe, happy, and healthy. Other than that, the education is just a way to put routine into your children's day, and I know that's super important, especially with the super preppies. They crave order, they love routine, even though they won't admit it, they do. So definitely do put order and routine into your day, but don't beat yourself up if you don't meet your goals. Teachers do that to themselves too. What you're going through as a teacher in the home, is basically what we go through as a teacher after school or on the weekends or at nights when we worry about that one child that isn't learning the way we want them to, or when we're trying to figure out if we can get everything in that they want us to teach. We beat ourselves up over it, and we really shouldn't. I just wanted to take a moment to tell you that you're doing just fine. And I'm proud of you for doing what you're doing with your kids, keeping them motivated, keeping them safe, happy, healthy, and educated. Kudos to you. See you tomorrow.